everyone, I'm Emily Carter, 28, and this is my story of discovering that my seemingly perfect family was built on a web of lies. Last Christmas, I drove home to Chicago, dreading questions about dropping out of college to work two grueling jobs. My hands shook as I knocked on my parents' door, expecting the usual lectures about my unfinished degree. Instead, my grandmother Evelyn dropped a truth bomb that shattered everything I thought I knew. The secret was hiding in plain sight, and by dessert, my world was upside down. Before I dive into this journey of betrayal, courage, and redemption, drop a comment with where you're watching from, hit that like button, and subscribe if you've ever uncovered a family secret that changed everything. Trust me, this story of reclaiming my truth will keep you hooked. Growing up in our cozy Chicago suburb, my childhood looked like a postcard. Our brick colonial home, with its ivy-covered porch and manicured lawn, screamed American dream. My parents, David and Laura Carter, were the neighborhood's golden couple. Dad, a financial advisor, coached Little League. Mom, a part-time event planner, ran the PTA like a general. They hosted block parties, volunteered at church, and made sure my younger brother Lucas and I had every opportunity. Piano lessons, soccer camps, the works. Education was their gospel. College is your ticket to freedom, Dad would say, dissecting our report cards like financial statements. A's were expected, B's meant a serious talk about effort. My grandmother Evelyn, Dad's mom, softened their intensity. A retired librarian with a sharp mind and a worn smile, she lived 20 minutes away in a book-filled bungalow. Weekend visits meant curling up with her novels, baking scones, and learning trivia about Chicago's history. Carter women are brilliant, she'd say, tapping my nose. Your mind is your legacy. When I got into Northwestern University, my parents threw a barbecue, toasting my acceptance with neighbors and colleagues. The first Carter at an elite school, Dad beamed. I felt invincible, carrying the family's pride. But sophomore year cracked the facade. Tuition bills piled up, and though Dad said, "We've got your college fund covered," I noticed changes. Mom stopped her spa visits. Dad switched to generic coffee. Our annual Lake Michigan vacation was canceled. Just a tight year, they said. Then came the call that broke me. Mom, crying, saying Dad was in the hospital with chest pain. It wasn't a heart attack, just stress, but it rattled me. At the hospital, I overheard them whispering about debts and loans. That night, I made a gut-wrenching choice. I'd drop out, work, and ease their burden. They begged me to stay in school, but I was resolute. I packed my dorm, rented a dingy studio with a leaky faucet, and took 2 jobs, barista by day, waitress by night. The next 2 years were relentless. I'd wake at 4 a.m. for coffee shop shifts, steaming milk until my hands blistered. Then serve burgers until midnight, my feet aching. I lived on day-old pastries and slept 5 hours a night. The worst part? The shame. I dodged family calls, skipped reunions, and spun lies about classes and internships to hide my dropout status. Lucas, meanwhile, thrived at the University of Illinois, his scholarship paving a smooth path to a finance degree. Our rare calls were him bragging about internships while I counted tips in my head. By Christmas 2024, my excuses for avoiding home were flimsy. Mom's voicemails grew insistent. Evelyn misses you, Emily. She's not getting younger. Guilt won. I took a rare evening off, planning to leave by midnight for my morning shift. The 3-hour drive gave me time to rehearse lies about my senior year. I had no idea the truth was about to unravel everything. Pulling into the driveway, snow dusting the familiar porch, I felt like an imposter. The Christmas lights glowed, but the wreath, Mom's same faded one, looked tired. I sat in my car, gripping the wheel, practicing my smile. Dad answered the door, his hug warm, but his face etched with new lines. "Emily, you made it," he said, his joy tinged with something I couldn't place. Mom rushed from the kitchen, her sweater loose on her frame. "You're exhausted," she said, studying me. School keeping you up? I nodded, lying. Finals were brutal. Their odd glance felt off, like they were hiding something. Lucas was in the living room, polished in a blazer, already the finance bro. The scholar returns, he teased, hugging me. Cousins Sarah and Ethan, with their kids, filled the room with chatter. Small talk, snow, traffic, masked my nerves. Then Evelyn arrived, her silver hair impeccable, carrying a tray of cookies and a bag of gifts. Emily, she said, hugging me, her eyes sharp. They're working you too hard at Northwestern. I mumbled, just busy, Grandma, dodging her gaze. Dinner was a spread, roast turkey, cranberry sauce, Mom's famous stuffing on the good china. The chandelier cast a festive glow, but tensions simmered. Lucas bragged about his job offer at a Chicago firm. Dad raising a glass. To my son, the future CFO. I clapped, hiding my envy. Evelyn turned to me. And you, Emily? How's your degree going? My fork froze. Good. Busy with psychology electives. Her eyes narrowed, like she saw through me. War parents say you're excelling, she said, sipping wine. No student loans to worry about, thanks to them. My stomach dropped. Loans? I said, confused. I dropped out 2 years ago to work. The table went silent. Dad's glass clinked hard. Mom stared at her plate. Lucas's jaw dropped. Dropped out? He said. Evelyn's face hardened. What loans are they paying then? Dad tried to deflect. Emily, let's discuss this later. But Evelyn stood, her voice steel. David Michael Carter, tell your daughter the truth. Now. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Dad looked defeated. There's a trust fund, he admitted. Evelyn set it up for your education when you were born. We used some of it. Evelyn's voice was icy. Some? I got a statement showing $120,000 withdrawn for Emily's tuition after she left school. I felt the air leave my lungs. You took my trust fund. While I was working 2 jobs, thinking I was saving the family, Mom sobbed. We meant to pay it back. Lucas pushed back his chair. Did you take from my trust too? Dad shook his head. Yours is intact, Lucas. So just mine, I said, bitterness rising. You sacrificed my future. Evelyn's voice cut through. I trusted you to manage her trust, David. You lied to me, to her, to everyone. Dad's voice cracked. The firm cut my salary. Laura's business slowed. We were drowning in debt. Credit cards, the mortgage. We borrowed from your trust to stay afloat, thinking we'd repay it. And let me think I was helping by dropping out, I said, tears burning. I lived in a ratty apartment, skipped meals, while you stole my future. Mom reached for me. We were ashamed to tell you. I stood, shaking. I need air. I grabbed my coat and stumbled into the snowy night, the Christmas lights mocking me. In my car, I sobbed, the betrayal crushing. A trust fund, money meant for my education, gone, while I scraped by. Lucas tapped on my window, shivering. Let me in, Em. I unlocked the door. He slid in, his face pale. I swear I didn't know, he said. They told me you were at school, killing it. And you believed them? I snapped. While I was serving Bogers at 1 a.m., he winced. I should have questioned it. I'm sorry. Evelyn appeared, wrapped in a scarf. May I? She asked. Lucas gave her his seat. She took my hand. I set up your trust with your grandfather. When I heard from your old professor you'd dropped out, I dug into the statements. Your parents took $120,000 over 3 years, I gasped. There's still $60,000 left, she said. I'm removing them as trustees. It's yours to control. I stared at her, stunned. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I wasn't sure until tonight, she said. I'm so sorry, Emily. Through the window, I saw my parents in the doorway. Mom crying, Dad broken. What now? I asked. Evelyn squeezed my hand. We go inside and face this. No more lies. The walk back felt like crossing a battlefield. The house, once warm, felt like a stage set for a lie. Evelyn led us to the dining room, the turkey cold, the festive mood dead. Absolute honesty, she said, sitting. David, Laura, explain everything. Dad's hands shook. It started 4 years ago. My firm downsized. I took a 30% pay cut. Laura's events dried up during the recession. We were maxed out on credit cards, facing foreclosure. Mom's voice was barely audible. I have a shopping problem. Designer bags, clothes, things I hid. It got out of control. I stared, shocked. You're the frugal one, always lecturing us. I was hiding it, she admitted. The trust withdrawals started small. A mortgage payment here, a bill there. We told ourselves we'd repay it. But you didn't, I said. You took $120,000 while I worked myself sick. Dad nodded, ashamed. We thought keeping the house, the family image, was worth it. We lied about your school to keep up appearances. Lucas's voice was sharp. My degree's partly funded by her trust, isn't it? Dad hesitated, then nodded. We supplemented your scholarship. Lucas stood, furious. I'm complicit in this? I felt rage and grief collide. You stole my choices, my future. I thought I was helping, and you let me suffer. Mom sobbed. We were trapped by shame. Evelyn's voice was firm. This stops now. Emily, the trust is yours. David, Laura, you'll repay every cent. Dad nodded. We'll sell the house, downsize, pay it back with interest. Mom added, I'm starting therapy for my addiction. Lucas looked at me. I'll contribute from my salary. I benefited. I owe you. Evelyn nodded. And family counseling. No more secrets. I shook my head, overwhelmed. I can't process this now. I need time. Evelyn's eyes softened. Take all the time you need, but know you have options now. School, a business, whatever you choose. Christmas morning was quiet. The house heavy with unspoken words. No music, no gifts, just coffee and tension. Evelyn sat with me in the kitchen. You could walk away, she said, but healing starts with facing the truth. Dad joined us, eyes red. I've failed you, Emily, but I'll spend my life making it right. A courier arrived with papers. Evelyn's lawyer had transferred the trust to my control, with a repayment plan for my parents. $60,000 is yours, she said. Use it to rebuild your future. Lucas offered $700 a month from his job. Mon, still fragile, promised therapy. We want to fix this, she said. I nodded, unsure if I could forgive, but open to trying. 6 months later, I stood outside Roosevelt University, clutching my enrollment papers. The $60,000, plus a scholarship, let me restart my psychology degree. I'd quit my second job, taking a part-time research role that fit my studies. My new apartment, shared with a classmate, had actual walls, not a bathtub in the kitchen. Lucas and I rebuilt our bond over weekly dinners, his payments steady. My parents sold the house, moving to a condo, their repayments consistent. Mom's therapy was ongoing. Dad found a better job. Family counseling was raw but honest, peeling back years of lies. Evelyn became my anchor, her bungalow my safe haven. I launched the Carter Truth Fund, helping kids from deceptive families access education, turning my pain into purpose. Last Christmas, we gathered at Evelyn's, not the old house. The meal was simple, the conversation real. Dad spoke. This year showed us our failures, but also our strength. We're proud of you, Emily, for reclaiming your path. I teared up. Truth hurts, but lies destroy. I'm choosing truth. If you faced a family secret or fought to rebuild trust, share in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories of resilience. I'm Emily Carter, and this is my truth. Choose yours.